So thank you, Jill. Um, is it okay if you share a few words about your experiences working with me and the emotional release program?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I've had over the years talk therapy, um, which I'm sure is very beneficial for a lot of people, but it didn't really work for me because I found that discussing with the therapist what was troubling me, what was upsetting me, what was causing me distress was all drawn out and dragged out during the appointment. But then once the time was up, you walked out of there and you still felt as wretched as you did in the appointment, and then you had 2 or 3 days of just trying to manage it yourself, and it just seemed to give it a life of its own again. Whereas this that you do is not anything like that. So with you go to the pain that you're feeling, you work through the pain that you're feeling, and then in that session it is resolved. At the end of the session, you don't walk away feeling wretched and a bit out of control and pretty miserable. You walk away feeling resolved and comforted and really helped. And it puts everything into perspective inside your tummy when you're feeling wretched. And that helps you move forward again. So you know that each session is going to be a resolving of an issue.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Thank you. Part of um, the disruption in your life was grief. How
Yes.
would you share in particular um, how it's helped with the process of grief?
I think particularly mine wasn't just an isolated loss of a loved one. I had compounded losses in a 12-month period. So my mum, then my partner, then my father. And I never seemed to be able to get through and deal and process even one of those. And in the midst of all that, I had three of my dogs die in the space of 6 weeks. And there's no way that physically you can actually deal with all of that while you're practically dealing with
Yeah.
helping another human being stay alive. So at the end of all that loss, it was okay for a few weeks. I thought, okay, I seem to have sort of come through this wallop. And
Yeah.
literally, my body started to shut down. My mind started to shut down. And I had no wherewithal at all. So, what you've done to help me is to deal with each layer of all that grief. And I think I'm pretty much in acceptance of so much now. I'm functioning and I'm happy.
Amazing. Can you still think of all of your loved ones with love and the happy memories?
Oh, goodness, yes. I quite often, something will just crop up. It may have been a trigger before, but now there'll be something a tune on the radio or something somebody says or a turn of phrase, and it'll be something from one of my parents or Dave, and it'll just make me giggle. It'll make me smile. And I can remember those happy times and those rolling on the floor laughing times and still roll on the floor laughing. So
Oh,
it is
wow.
all back in perspective, and I just love the memories of them now. I don't
Yeah.
fear the remembering anymore.
And how do you manage with anniversaries and dates?
They can be a little bit tough, but it's not go fall to pieces tough. It's a remembrance
Yeah.
and a little bit of sadness. There's no tears and trauma. It's just a remembrance and a respect and a sort of a quiet day. But other than that, there's no tears and trauma now.
Wow. So if someone else was considering working through their grief or any other emotional trauma that they've experienced, what would you say to them?
This is the way to do it. This is the way to do it so that it doesn't cause you more pain. You are connecting without bearing your soul. You are moving forward. It's such a positive thing. And to my mind, after everything that I went through, to come out the other side as I have, this is the way forward. This is the only way to do it.
Thank you. So I'll just clarify that I've not sort of given you any script or anything. This has come from your own perspective of working with me and the program that I share.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you for spending the time and sharing that. Thank
That's
you.
no problem at all. Okay.